If you guys are looking for some coins to get the best FIFA 18 squads, then check out mulefactory.com. They're the cheapest site I've found for coins, they deliver in 5 minutes, and if you use TGC Kurt5 at checkout, you get 5% off your order. Check them out with the link down below now. What's up guys, Curtis here and welcome to a brand new FIFA 18 squad builder. Today we're doing something a tiny bit different. What we're going to be doing today is looking at a team of players that you could genuinely use, and I actually used. But this team of players is a little bit different. Now this team of players is a team of the most used players so far on FIFA. So what I did was I went on to footbin.com. This isn't a paid endorsement or anything like that. But if you guys don't know, they have like a little section where you can see like the best goals per game and stuff like that. And in that section, they show the players that have been used the most basically in FIFA. And you can see who's been used the most so far. So I basically went position by position and found the players that had been used the most in each position and built a team that is as close to full chemistry as possible using the most used players. Does that make sense? I had to keep changing the formation a little bit. There's one player not on full chem. Everyone else in the team has full chem. And I'll show you guys how many games apparently have been used of each player so far that are on the market at the current time. It's a really weird system that Footbin do it, but it's basically a really accurate way to see the most used players in Foot so far. It does make sense. You'll kind of understand it as we go. But not only that, the team actually was quite good. But we'll start off with the goalkeeper. And that is going to be, in this case, it's going to be Jack Butland. Now, obviously, Jack Butland, he is the most used every single flipping year. He's super OP. He is a sick goalie on this game. So Jack Butland has been used 160,000 times according to Fitbin at the moment. Quite a high amount and the highest of all the goalkeepers at the moment. Now, these are probably subject to change. Will go up and down as the week goes on. I don't really understand, but we all know why this guy is the main one. He is just sick. He's always OP on FIFA. Just seems to suit the game. Then at right back, we have Danny Carvajal. Now, this one kind of surprised me a little bit with him being the quite expensive and not that quick. Now he is 6.3k and he is just a relatively decent fullback. I'm just a bit surprised he was the most used. He's played 190,000 games. Now whether or not he will change as the most popular, it might turn out to be like someone like a Dani Alves or a Bellerin who are a bit better, but as it stands, maybe it's because of his price, Carvajal is the #1 right back on the game in terms of use. Then the centre-backs were a little bit surprising for me. The centre-backs were Otamendi, and then this one I'm going to have to search manually, is Chris Smalling. Now Chris Smalling I can understand. He's always used an absolute ton in the game. Everyone loves Chris Smalling every single year, but Otamendi shocked me. 63 pace. Stats are okay. I was just surprised he was so high up. But Smalling has been used a grand total of 440,000 times with players that are on the market. And Otamendi has been used 297,000 times. So, just to explain this stat, what this is, Footbin trawls the market for every player that's currently on the market and grabs their games played and all those stats to do with those players. So that is why Smalling and these players are #1. I'm just surprised about Otamendi though. Anyway, at left back we have another English player. Most of these are Premier League other than the few Real Madrid ones you can see on the right hand side. But then we have Danny Rose is the left back. Now, I wasn't sure what it was going to be. I'm going to put this into perspective. Danny Rose, #1 with 320,000. Second place is Luke Shaw with 145,000. And then Jordan Lukaku with 110,000. Danny Rose is far and away the best. You could add the top 3 together and they, second, third and fourth, and they only would just beat Danny Rose if you added all 3 together. So he is obviously used an absolute ton this year. One of the most popular left backs. Only got 81 pace though. Pretty average in my eyes. And then we have a midfield trio which consists of the first, second and third most used DMs, centre mids and attacking mids. It combines all 3. We're going to start off with the one in third place, and that is Marco Asensio. Now this guy has been used a grand total of 331,000 times. He edges out Naby Keita by just 2,000. That's all there is in it. And then Ander Herrera and Dele Alli are about 30,000 behind him. So he's at 330. Very, very high amount. Obviously getting the perfect link to Danny Carvajal here, so he works a treat. I thought he was alright. Obviously you wouldn't be using him in centre mid. He's okay. He didn't seem to have as much of an influence as I probably would have liked him to have, but he's a decent player. There's not much more you can ask for. And then we have 2 Premier League players. First up you have Adam Lallana. Adam Lallana has 384,000 on the dot. which is about 50,000 more than Asensio. Second most used, rightly so. The guy is very, very well rounded. I did expect Gini Wijnaldum to be higher up, if I'm completely honest with you. However, I've just scrolled down to 135,000 and I don't seem to be able to see him on the list. So I'm a bit shocked at that. But Adam Lallana, very well rounded, like I said. Some good stats, a bit of skills on him. He's not bad at all. And a pretty decent assist record by the looks of things for general players. And then we go on to the most used player in the squad, and I'm going to double check. I think he might be the most used player on the game. He is. That is Bakayoko. He has been used 527,000 times, which takes him out to quite a strong lead ahead of everyone else in this team. I mean, the second highest is the striker, which you will see in a second. So a huge amount of people using Bakayoko. Understandably, he's got some fantastic pace, great defending, great physical. He's been bigged up a lot by a lot of YouTubers, and he's basically one of the best DMs on the game. So it makes sense for him to be used so frequently. And then we're going to have there's two more players outside the Premier League, actually. This one is going to be Ousmane Dembele. I was surprised at how high this guy was on the list, given how expensive he is. It could just be the case that a lot of people decided he was worth the money and they just used him absolutely tons of times. 430,000 games he's played, absolutely crazy. The second place is Willian with 310, so he's far and away the top one. Really did shock me, that one, but he's a fantastic player and really good fun to use in game. You can understand why, like I said, even though he's a little bit pricey, the fact he's got the 5-star skills and 5-star weak foot, as you can see here, I used him in 4 games. He got 5 goals from me. That is just a perfect ratio. 60k is quite a lot, but when you've got a player that's so influential to your side, it makes a huge difference. High attacking, low defensive work rates obviously make an enormous difference. It's so important. And being left-footed, being able to cut in from that right-hand side, 88 dribbling with 91 pace. He's so fun, tricking in and out. If we look at some of his more in-depth attribute details, you can see here balance and agility both being 90 and dribbling being 92. It's so important. Composure is the only thing that brings that dribbling stat down. And composure isn't really that big of a deal, I don't think, in terms of dribbling anyway. So having the agility, balance, and dribbling being that high, this guy is jinking in and out. He's been absolutely a nightmare on the right-hand side. And it makes it so easy to be able to cut in and then use that 77 finishing and 83 shot power. And of course, you combine it with that 93 acceleration that he's got. This guy is flipping unstoppable. 93 acceleration with all those dribbling stats. You are never ever going to catch him. So it's pretty clear, pretty obvious why this guy is so highly rated, and he's got a pretty good goals and assists ratio to go with that. Now, we have the final BPL player of this episode, and that is Anthony Martial. Now, this guy, it's understandable. 444,000 games played with this dude. The second place is Heung-min Son at 270,000. So this guy is exceeding it by a country mile. Fantastic player, 91 pace, 85 dribbling, 79 shooting. He didn't have as good of a goals to game ratio as Dembele did. Now, I was a little bit shocked at this. I am actually going to try playing him up front in the next team I'm building to see what he's like. But his stats are very, very similar to Dembele's. If you put them side by side, you can see on the left, the pace is the same, the shooting's very similar, the passing's similar, dribbling's similar, and he just edges out quite a bit, really, in the physicals. But everything else, very similar style of playing that they cut in onto their stronger foot. And I just think maybe it didn't suit me having 2 of those players. Maybe I was too focused on the 5-star skiller. But it's understandable why both of them are used so frequently. And then we're going to finish off with one player that actually I'm not the biggest fan of. I know a lot of people love him, and that is Kevin Gamera. I'm not sure what my goals to game ratio with him was. It was pretty poor, 2 goals, 2 assists. I don't know what it was about him. I couldn't get to grips with him. I'm not sure if it was his work rate, if it was his height. It might have been his skill moves and weak foot. I do like a player that can, at least a striker for me, needs to have 4-star skills. And not having much of a weak foot, really, I think that might have cost it a little bit for me. He's been used 485,000 times anyway, with a 0.84 goals per game and a 0.57 assists per game. Now, I'm letting down the goals per game with my ratio here. I'm sure if I play some more games with him, that would probably change. But I don't know what it was about him. Just really did not suit my style of play. Didn't really enjoy using him. But there must be a reason he is the most used player. For anyone wondering, Antonio is second place with this at 416,000. So 60,000 less than him. And then it's a long way down to Belotti at 245,000. So pretty interesting. the top of this list, these are all the players that are the absolute peak. We'll jump over to a real quick bit of gameplay now and talk a tiny bit more about them, as you can see it now. And it's, yeah, probably interesting just to note, like, some of the players here. Like I said, the midfield actually performs quite well in game. I did realise when I was building that squad too, that Bakayoko should have been in the middle. He would have had more chem if you switched it around. I'm sure there's comments already full of it now. But that would have made a bit of a difference for his chemistry and a couple other things too. But actually playing the squad, there's one thing you could change. If you changed John Stones in for Smalling, that would actually be a full chem squad and genuinely quite a fun team to use. You could swap out Gamera for any French striker. So if you fancied using Mbappe or someone like that, it would work. And it really actually was a fun team to use. I just liked it. Really good fun and would recommend putting it together. If you guys wanted to see what basically the best team and most used team in FIFA plays like, it's quite an interesting one. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video, a tiny bit different from me today. Smash that like button if you have enjoyed it. Subscribe if it's your first time watching. Have a fantastic day and I will see you all next time. Bye guys.